this life. I won't wait around for the curtain fall. Life is not a race, it's all one big show. I can see it now that the truth is told. Feels like letting go. 'Cause I love this life. Yeah, it feels alright. And there's no reason to stop believing. 'Cause I love this life. And the future's bright. And there's no reason to fight this feeling. Yeah, I love this life. Yeah, I love this life. Yeah, I love this life. Yeah, I love this life.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another live. We got Evan, we got Ethan, we got me. We're ready to answer any questions you guys have and go over any sort of questions you have around scaling your video business. We're live over here on Instagram, and we're here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube over on this side. What's going on, guys? How we doing?
What up?
What up?
I'm gonna first apologize if my camera moves on me. It's a little on a janky setup right now.
You're good, man.
But
worries.
if it happens, I will postpone and be back in a second.
No worries, dude. All good. Well, how's the week been, guys? What are we up to? What are we working on? And what can we talk through? Like, what are some of the things that clients are going through right now?
Client wise, I mean, for me, it's really just it's gonna keeping people on the horse in the beginning part of launching ads.
Yep.
Right. It's a little bit of a stepping stone process. And it's kind of for me, it's just trying to get people to really not expect things to work right out of the gate, right? Giving it a little bit of time, giving it a little bit of going. Now, those that of our students that, you know, maybe have more capital to spend on ads and things like that. Now it's just, okay, how do we do more faster?
Right.
Right. But for me, it's just kind of it's getting people to kind of take it easy in the launch phase, and not trying to like tinker so much too early.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of what I'm going through with a lot of people, but
For sure.
not necessarily anything bad.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and share a couple wins from our community here. Let me go ahead and pull this up, share my screen. One sec.
And I'm falling right now, so I'll be right.
You're good, man. No worries. You're all good. If you're just joining in, let us know any questions you have around scaling your video business. Let's go ahead and dive into a couple of these wins here. We got Tony, who, let me pull this over here. Tony, who had someone click his ad on Sunday night. He was following up with them. He ended up booking a game plan call with them from one of the automated text messages we had sent out in his marketing automation. And then he also just got into his office this morning at 8:30 a.m. and had another lead come through. And he just called them and booked them on a strategy session for next week. I believe Tony focuses on medical companies and med spas and dentists. So he's running ads to get those types of leads. He's already booked 2 calls, and now he's ready to close, which is huge. Then we got Justin, who just picked up a couple of photo shoots, did $7,500 in just the past 2 weeks. And that's through improving his sales, getting case studies, which we talk to you guys about all the time here. Get case studies with your clients. This is a huge piece of that. And obviously he's able to smooth out some of those bumps along the way and work through some things he's been working on, which is great. And then we got Connor, who is working on some solar leads. Tori booked her second $45K client, which is huge. I think she's done 90K with us. Let me check. Yep, she's done 90K with us so far, which is absolutely huge, which I'm super proud of her. And I think Tori's a good one to highlight too. She started as mainly a photographer, and still doesn't really understand as much about how to shoot video. But what she did is she hired videographers to help her shoot the content, right? So she focused on selling the packages and then simply just hired a videographer to shoot the content and then directed them on what she wants, right? So I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm worried if I don't know exactly how to shoot the content. Tori's a great example of somebody who didn't really know how to shoot the content and has already closed 90K since working with us. So, Ethan, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but I think that's a big lesson for a lot of people here.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I know she does like social media and social media management. Obviously, she hires some of it out to people as well, but the the distribution part is huge for clients, and like time saving is a big value add.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this guy looks familiar. Signed up a private school, 4 month, 10K package. We do practice what we preach here, guys. So
yeah, man. Yeah, no, I actually shoot I shoot B-roll with them for like the entire 4 months. I do that tomorrow. So
let's go.
It's gonna be a fun little 4-hour day, and in and out.
Huge. And then Drew, mainly weddings, came from the wedding industry and closed Ethan, you helped him with this package, a 9K 3-month package. And his first week with us, something crazy like that.
Yeah, he was like 8 or 9 days in. Yeah,
so
it was
2 weeks. We'll
say
2. I'll use an accurate amount of time there, which is huge. It's just, it goes to show you like what can happen when you have, you have the right strategy and you make a couple of small changes, which is huge. And let's see what else. And then we had Will just got his first lead booked on his calendar, which is huge. And those are a couple of our wins from just the past couple of days, guys. But I guess, Evan, what would you say to people who are like, man, I want to master the skill of getting better at creating content before I start getting more clients? Like, what would you say to people like that? And, how would you kind of realign them, kind of knowing that Tori has closed 90K and doesn't even know how to shoot video, right? She's selling something she doesn't even know how to do. Like, she hires the right people. What would you say to people like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, we always say here when we talk about, like, you always use like the people who just like want to edit analogies, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're at the end of the day, if what you're saying is like, I need to make more money, right? Well, the act of learning how to make better content doesn't actually make you more money.
Yeah.
Because you need to learn how to make more money first. Then you can hire the people to do the thing that ultimately you feel like is what you think is that. But it's really just mastering how to get leads, right? And which is what we help you do here. And then learning how to align and sell those leads on what it is that you ultimately can provide for them. Now, I understand, because I went through this when I was a student here, right? Like, if I don't understand how to do for them, like, does it make it harder to sell? And in some regards, yeah, there is a little bit of that fear, right? Kind of when you start, but it's, if you can master the art of selling people, because everybody here has warm leads that they can reach out to, usually when they start here, right? So being able to sell somebody into that, you can figure out the other stuff pretty quickly when you have capital and money to be able to figure it out. Right. So I would just say, learn the other thing that brings in the money first, and then that will spiral you into actually finding the people that can fulfill the better content or better creative that you feel like you actually need.
For sure. Yeah. I want to play a clip from one of my latest YouTube videos with Scott, one of the clients that we worked with. He's about to purchase a large home in San Diego, which, California homes are expensive. So I'm super proud of him, and he's been crushing it, dude. And I want to take a soundbite from one of our YouTube videos on kind of his thoughts on how the industry is kind of changing right now. And I think it'd be helpful for anybody who's watching this. And if you want to watch the full video, you can go to my YouTube channel, but I think it might be helpful. I'm going to play this real quick. I think it'd be kind of a good thing for other people to hear here. Let's go ahead and play it.
You also, again, for the congrats. I mean, master filmmaker helped me kind of make a couple power moves over the last year and a half. The industry of film has been shooken lately. Everybody, this whole working these like, you know, jobs where we get like, oh, a DP's on set, or I'm going to do this big time filmmaking game is kind of being shooken up by, you know, technology being better, by you with the crew in an FX, you know, no crew in an FX3 can come out and shoot incredible stunt, whereas before you need a team, it's just shaking the industry. And so that's why, to me, Master Filmmaker is a no-brainer transition for anybody who wants to stay in the game, because you have to learn digital marketing. I like beautiful shit. I like high production stuff. You know, I've worked on sets that are, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, you know, when I went into Master Filmmaker, I had to kind of sit back and say, like, you know, I really do need an offer that's results based, because the facts are is that companies don't give a fuck if it looks good, because now everything looks good. Every fucking thing that you shoot with an FX3 or, you know, decent camera, it all looks good. So those who have those cameras in the past could have succeeded, right? When you had a Red or you had some really fancy camera, whereas now these, you know, 18-year-old kids are banging out sick commercials. So if you don't do this, you know, you may not be around. You have to learn how to be savvy in digital marketing. You have to run your own ads. You have to learn how to run ads for clients. To me, it's the future of video production. You're going to have to know how to do that. So got an ROI that was well over 10 times what I put in. So, you know, Eric.
Not to make it too much of a rant, but I think the important things he's talking about there that I want to highlight in our live today is like, you do have to learn how to provide more value. And I think a lot of people are complacent and like, you know what, I don't want to have to provide more value. I just want to create content and hope that my clients pay me. Right. I want to hope that I can, you know, high production value content will actually get me more clients. And unfortunately, like, you got to have a results-based offer. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And whether that's getting us to help you or somebody else to help you or learning that on your own or like YouTubing your way to it, like, it really doesn't matter how you learn it. You just got to learn something. Otherwise, in my opinion, I feel like you're going to be working for a company that does that, right? If you don't do it yourself. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, where they're like, I don't want to have to learn something new. But ultimately, that's what changes the game. Evan, I think you had kind of a similar journey coming in, right? When you first started.
No, for sure. Like, I just made content for the sake of making content because I thought, you know, or I knew they needed it, but I didn't know why they needed it. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't ultimately know, you know, kind of what it was. And honestly, too, like when I started my journey now, or, you know, 5 years ago of like my business, right? Like this was when vertical video like just was kind of emerging. Right. So like we go all the way from like what we're all used to in a, you know, a horizontal platform or, you know, whatever. And now there's this whole other thing that I can dive into and potentially offer people. And I just didn't really understand what it was. I don't think many of us did at the time.
Yeah.
Right. We just kind of were bombarded by it in COVID when we were all sitting at home and we just were like, I seriously remember just me and my wife being home for like 3 months, just like sitting together on the couch, like this.
Yep.
And like we made it like this joke in our house. Like, can you believe we're doing this right now? Like we're just sitting here scrolling.
Yep.
And it just became the norm. Right. And figuring out how to infuse that into an offer or, you know, navigate these other landscapes that I didn't really understand. I had to figure that out. Right.
Yeah.
And it ultimately is what kind of saved me from, you know, like you said, having to go work for a company that already knew that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And what questions do you guys have? I see a bunch of people watching here. What kind of questions do you have around scaling, getting more clients, getting more leads? Like, we're happy to answer anything you guys have. Otherwise, we'll just rant on topics that we think you guys want to know about, and you know, our clients are asking us about right now. But yeah, no, it's 100% truth, man. Like, you have to learn a new skill. You have to learn a new way of doing things. I'm going to pull up a couple questions we've gotten this week. Let's see. You know, what if I don't have any case studies yet? How do I close without proof? Or how do I get those types of case studies if I've had some past clients? Evan, what would you say to someone who's like asking that type of question? How would you direct them on? Maybe they've had some past clients and they just don't have any case studies. They don't have any way of actually like, you know, documenting the results they got for their clients.
Sure. So if you have past clients, you just reach out to them, right?
Yep.
You figure out, and I think timeline has a lot to do with this, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's relatively recent, it's much easier. If it's years in the past, it's much more difficult. But you just literally reach out to them and see if there is some kind of tangible difference maker that they can reflect on, that they can pinpoint that you were able to help them with.
Yeah.
And then being able to just get them on, I mean, it can be ugly. It could be on a Zoom. It could be on a,
I'd use Riverside. Yeah.
yeah, Riverside is
AI.
my
Yep.
favorite, but I mean,
Yeah.
at complacency is not okay. So Zoom it if you have to,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But sitting down with them and figuring that out. Now, if they don't have any, right? If they don't have any past clients, let's say they're just starting, maybe they've just been doing hobby work for the past couple of years and now they want to make a career out of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you kind of have to do something for free probably to get that result to then document the result.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of us go through that no matter what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? If you come from the world of building your portfolio or whatever, you've done free work. It's
Yep.
not really a big thing, but now we're doing it with the intent of just not making an artistic wall piece.
Yep.
We're doing it to get a result.
Or go to like learn how to run ads, right? Which is something we teach our clients, or you can learn on your own and figure it out, right? It's like go to, let's say you have med spa clients or you have medical clients, like shoot a very simple video ad for them, run it in a campaign with a Facebook lead form, and start getting them some leads and be like, cool, you got some leads. Like, how are those leads? Oh, we closed a couple of deals. Cool. Can I record a case study with you talking about how our video content helped you close a couple deals? Like, yes, great. Cool. Take that. Hey, do you want more of this type of work? We could talk about doing this on an ongoing basis for a retainer. Yeah, that's perfect. What would that look like? And then you transition that into a conversation, right? It's like you just have to provide them some value. Don't just give them the videos, deliver it, and then say, cool, good luck,
Yeah.
right? It's my biggest pet peeve. It's like that's why your clients are not getting results. That's why they're not hiring you again. And we had one of our clients who works with law firms, and I believe he is running, and we helped him kind of switch this over, a lot of brand awareness, like boosting posts. And I think this law firm with him was like spending $5,000 a month on boosting posts. They were getting like 2 million views a month on their content, which grew their brand. But then I was like, hey, to get them actual tangible results, switch them to like a Facebook lead form, add some conditional logic in there so they get qualified leads, and then have them actually call those leads, book them on a call, see if they're a good fit. And then you'll see a lot more for that $5,000 a month that he's spending with you than just like boosting the posts and the organic stuff that you've already been creating, if that makes sense.
100%.
Which is huge. What else, guys? Let's see what other questions we have. Let's see. Yeah, what if I land a retainer and I can't deliver results? It's a good question. So that's kind of what it comes down to, like what we just talked about. It's like you have to have someone in your corner who can help you get them results, because the number one thing you don't want to do is then, charge somebody a retainer, promise them something, and then not be able to get them the results. So it's like you have to learn that either on your own or have somebody who can teach you the skill, and then have somebody who can look over your shoulder as you're running the ads to make sure you're actually getting people results in their business, right? So that's a big, big key thing there. Let's see what else, guys. And if you guys are listening in, drop some questions down below on what you guys have around scaling your video business, getting more leads, getting more clients, etc. Let's see. Is it better to niche down or stay broad as a video agency? Evan, Ethan, you want to answer that one?
Niching down is definitely better.
But won't I get bored, bro? I'm going to get so bored if I niche down.
Making money is better than being bored. So.
I don't know. I'm going to get bored.
But no, I would say, yeah, niching down is better, because then you can, become the expert in the area that you work in, versus, hey, I work with anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
Because there's I know we use a ton of medical analogies around here, but there's no doctor that practices every area of medicine. Right.
That's a really good analogy.
Brain, neurosurgeons don't do back surgery, and, they don't do knee replacements. Like you have to have an area of specialty.
Yeah.
Regardless of where you work.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Absolutely. 100%. Evan, anything else coming up for you that you're working on this week? What are some things that are kind of going through your channels?
I mean, not a whole ton. Just trying to get a few people kind of started with their ads.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I kind of started the day off with today is just kind of keeping things kind of stabilized. Not trying to rock the boat too early with a few people.
Yeah.
And then, just kind of, I don't want to say keeping people afloat, but keeping spirits up when it feels like it's not happening. right? And there's a lot of different things that can play into the success of, you know, when you first launch your ads. I always tell everybody too, like
my first couple of ad campaigns did not work.
and
I want to highlight, like, I think it's Felix. He's starting to get some good quality people, and Tony's getting some really good quality people through their funnel. But it's like you had to test 4 or 5 different ads to get to that point. And I think some people are like, you know, they throw up an ad, and this is people who like maybe don't come through the program or try it on their own. It's like you throw up one ad, it didn't work, and then you say ads don't work. It's not true.
Yeah.
Like, ads 100% work. You're just putting a piece of content from yourself in front of the market that you want to work with. And if that's not performing or people are not clicking, it's because the content is not as good as it could be. Right. And like we even had, I think, Tony, we tested 2 to 3 different ads, and then the 3rd or 4th one hit really well. And we were like, okay, why is this one working so well? We looked at the ad. It was because he was calling out a specific pain point for medical companies and dentists. And I was like, oh, okay, that's working really well because he's calling out this specific pain point. It's like the other ones didn't work as well because you weren't using that pain point. So now what he's going to do is he's going to record that same ad in like a doctor's coat in an office, and he's going to use the exact same script and make variations of the winning ad. And so really all ads is, guys, is like what we're helping you with is like we test a couple of things that we know are likely to work. And then we take the top 2 to 3 ones that work really, really well. And then we just basically iterate on what's working and continue to just iterate and iterate and iterate and make it as good as it possibly can. And then it just becomes funnel math at that point. It's like if it costs you $100 for a qualified call for somebody who wants to work with you, and you close at 1 out of every 3 of those calls, you're paying $300 to close somebody for $15K. Right?
I mean, it took for my recent one, like on this new ad campaign, I started it running at the beginning of April. Spent about, I think, is just over $800 for a 10K contract. So it's like,
that's not a bad return. That's
it's not. It's like,
over a $10,000 or over a 10 to 1 return. So it's like,
it was like just shy of like 12x. So
would you pay $1 to make $12 out at the back end? It's like, absolutely. And then you're just taking that and you're doing it over and over again. So it's like you close the $10,000 contract, you spent $800. Then you take another $800 from the $10,000 contract and you go buy another $10,000 contract and you put that back into ads and you do it over and over and over again. You're just rinsing and repeating until you get to the monthly revenue that you want to get to at the end of the day, right? That's really what it comes down to. So, cool, guys. We got to run here, but hopefully we answered some good questions for you guys. If you have any other questions, or you want to learn more about what we do here at Master Filmmaker, click the link below, schedule a demo with our team. We're happy to see if we can actually help. And I also have a bunch of stuff for free on YouTube. You can see a bunch of trainings and stuff that we've taken from the clients that we've worked with and implemented to help them close hundreds of thousands of dollars in their video business. So hopefully that's helpful. If you guys want to learn more, click that link below. Otherwise, we will see you in the next live. Peace.
'Cause I love this.